Welcome to our video of our trip to Montenegro, where Nick and I spent 5 nights staying at the brand new Movenpick Hotel in Kotor Bay. So Montenegro is a country in southeast Europe. It used to be part of the former Yugoslav Republic. Then following the breakup of Yugoslavia, it became part of Serbia and Montenegro in 2003 before achieving full independence in 2006. The capital is a city called Podgorica, but we flew into Tivat, which is the nearest airport to Kotor and Kotor Bay. A lot of tour operators from the UK also fly into Dubrovnik in Croatia and then cross the international border as part of the transfer to Kotor Bay. We found Kotor Bay absolutely stunningly beautiful, one of the most beautiful places we've been to, and the mix of the Adriatic Sea and the stunning mountains make for a truly remarkable experience. We flew out of London Luton Airport, which is an airfield to the northeast of London, mainly consisting of low-cost carriers and biz jets. It's not an airport we normally use, and it was very, very busy on the day we flew out of there. So on our departure from Luton, we picked up a slight ATC delay due to some capacity constraints at the airport in Tivat in Montenegro. Now, one of the ways of handling this from an airline is to remote hold. Now, remote holding is when you push back off the stand at the airport where you've boarded the aircraft, then you taxi out and hold at a remote part of the airport, usually close to the runway. The reason for that is twofold. One, it frees up the stand for other aircraft to use, but also if there is a slot improvement, which does happen, then you're closer to the runway and able to use that slot more efficiently, which is what we did on this day, and we did get a slot improvement and took off soon afterwards. You can see from the route map, which was taken from actual derived GPS data for our flight, that it's pretty much a straight line down to Montenegro. We had some stunning views across the Austrian Alps, and again, once we crossed the northern part of Italy, cruising down the Dalmatian coast through Croatia, some amazing views of the coastline. Now, one of the things we didn't know when we booked was that during our stay there would be an EU conference being held at Tivat, and we received an email from EasyJet Holidays, I think it was the day before, letting us know there might be some transfer issues at the airport when we arrived. And sure enough, when we got to Tivat Airport, which is quite a small airport, it transpired that all the roads around had been closed and there was no cars, buses, taxis or transfers available. It was a bit confused and a bit chaotic, but I did find one very helpful airport employee that directed me to a boat. So we had an unexpected boat transfer, which took about an hour to go around the bay to drop us off in Kotor. And then I WhatsApped the number that EasyJet had given me, and our transfer picked us up from the port side or the dock side in Kotor, and then took us to our hotel, which was about a 25-minute drive away from Kotor. We stayed at the brand new Movenpick Hotel at Kotor Bay, and it was really brand new. It had been open about 2 weeks. Absolutely stunning location, and the quality of the rooms and furnishings was great. But we did have a few problems during our stay, but more about those later in the video. Movenpick Hotel is situated in the northeast corner of Kotor Bay, and although it's kind of on its own as a hotel, it's only a couple of minutes walk to the local village, where there's a number of shops and restaurants, supermarkets to pick up provisions and have some meals outside of the hotel. We decided to book a boat trip to take us a look at the submarine tunnels and the blue caves, and we booked on Get Your Guide using a company called Monty Explore. We had an absolutely amazing trip, although the sea was a little rough visiting the blue caves. The captain and the crew were excellent, really friendly, and we had a great time. Part of the trip, they dropped us off in the village of Perast for 35-40 minutes to have a wander around. This was the next village along from where our hotel was, and it was an absolutely stunning place with loads of beautiful hotels and restaurants. Definitely worth a visit. Submarine tunnels were one heck of an adventure, and we thoroughly enjoyed those. I'd read something about them before our visit, but we'd kind of booked the excursion itself as a last minute thing to do. Would definitely recommend the company, and I'll put the details of the company we used in the description. But yeah, the submarine tunnels were extraordinary. So they were built during the Cold War for use by the Yugoslav submarine fleet, and various submarines and boats and whatever. We used to hide in those tunnels so they couldn't be detected by enemies or potential enemies. But yeah, a really unusual excursion and visit to do. Now, as part of this video, you'll have seen some footage of the Movenpick Hotel that we stayed in Kotor Bay, and it was a brand new hotel, so it had been open 2, maybe 3 weeks. It was a stunning location, beautiful furniture, the rooms were amazing, but we did have a few issues during our stay. First one, when we arrived, we got allocated our room, and I'd paid when I booked an upgrade for us to have a sea view room, so a bit disappointed when we got into a room to find it was a view of a mountain and actually right in front of the road. I went down to reception to check, and for some reason the upgrade hadn't come through on the booking from EasyJet, and on that day they had no sea view rooms available. Bit disappointing on a 5-night stay, so effectively 20% of our stay was in the wrong room type, but they did rectify it the following day and moved us to a very, very nice sea view room with stunning views across Kotor Bay. That wasn't the only issue we had at the hotel. It wasn't quite finished, so you'll see some clips. There was some building work still going on, building a beach bar and another structure on the beach, which was quite noisy during our stay. And I think a number of the rooms hadn't been finished, hence the lack of availability. We also found the restaurant, the service was not quite polished yet, and you can kind of make allowances for that, it being a new establishment. But one of the things we did find disappointing was that we'd booked half board, and in the evening the selection of meals, you had 1 vegetarian option, 1 meat option and 1 fish option. Now during our 5 nights there, the meat option was the same for 3 of those 5 nights, which was a bit disappointing. There wasn't any more choice available. Even though they had an a la carte option, there was no option. Nobody was able to swap out any of the meals for us, which again was disappointing. Also worth pointing out the food prices in the hotel. Whilst the food was of excellent quality, the food prices were extremely high, and particularly extremely high compared to the surrounding area. Now fortunately, less than a 10-minute walk from the hotel, there are a number of small bars and restaurants in the local village, and we found the food to be excellent, and the price is really good. For example, we had a really nice freshly baked sourdough pizza, which we shared one evening, which was €14, so really good value. But yes, definitely one to watch out for. The food prices in that hotel were extremely expensive. So I guess the big question is, would we go back and visit again? And it's an absolutely resounding yes. What a stunningly beautiful place Kotor Bay is, and we'd like to see more of Montenegro too. Would we stay at the same hotel? A reserved yes on that one. Probably would give it a few months just to get a few of the bumps and service issues sorted out, and also to finish the rest of the building work. But it was a great location and a beautiful hotel, but there were so many other nice looking hotels to check out, so definitely would recommend Montenegro as a visit. 5 nights was about the minimum you'd want to spend there, but definitely worth going for that amount of time. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe and look at some of my other content.